Before you hear anything else, before one word settles into your spirit, I want you to take a slow breath. Because what I am about to speak over your life is not casual, it is not coincidental, and it is not something that drifted into your hands by chance. Child of God, you were pulled here. You were pulled here. Something in the unseen realm has been shifting around you for weeks, maybe months, and heaven has moved you into this moment because the revelation you're about to receive is part of your destiny alignment. I don't say that lightly. There are messages you click on, and then there are messages that choose you. And this one has your name etched into its foundation, because heaven whispered a truth, and I feel it so strongly that even now, as I speak, there's a weight, a holy weight, resting on this word. And if you stay with me, not just with your mind, but with your spirit, you're going to feel something ignite inside you. Star the divine pull, have you ever noticed how God interrupts your life in the strangest ways? Maybe through a late-night restlessness, a sudden thought, a repeated number, a scripture that appears everywhere, a whisper that says, pay attention, you might be experiencing that right now. If you're honest, something has been unsettling your spirit lately. Not a fear, no, something deeper. Something deeper, something like a spiritual tug. That gentle pull inside that says, you're missing something. You're about to see what you couldn't see. Prepare yourself. Tell me, have you felt that? Have you sensed a strange awareness, like God is trying to show you a truth that has been hidden in plain sight? If your answer is yes, then you are exactly where heaven intended you to be. Star a shift in your atmosphere, my beloved. Listen closely. Because the atmosphere around your life has been shifting, your sleep patterns have changed, your intuition has sharpened, your discernment has become sensitive, your spirit is not reacting the way it once did. Things you used to ignore are suddenly loud. People you used to trust feel different. Conversations feel heavier. Certain places feel spiritually off. You're noticing things again, things you used to overlook. And no, you're not imagining it. This is often the first sign that a prophetic unveiling is happening in the background of your life. Before God shows you something, He awakens the spiritual senses you thought had gone quiet. But this time is different. This is not a simple nudge. It's not a small whisper. This is activation. Activation. Star the sacred moment of awakening. Let me tell you a secret. Every person chosen by God, truly chosen, goes through a moment like this. A moment where the world feels slightly unfamiliar, where the atmosphere feels charged, where you sense something shifting in the unseen, and you can't explain it. With logic, because it's not happening in the mind, it's happening in the spirit. Tell me, have you ever walked into a room and suddenly felt something heavy, even when everyone else was laughing? Have you ever sensed dishonesty without hearing a single lie? Have you ever felt someone's intentions shift, even when their words stayed sweet? That is discernment. That is the Holy Spirit awakening spiritual senses deep within you. That is the evidence that you are stepping into your anointed identity. And right now, your discernment is not just awakening, it's intensifying. Star, but then God showed me something. As I prepared this message, I felt something I don't usually feel, a pressure, a spiritual urgency, as though heaven itself was leaning in saying, speak this. Someone needs this right now. And then God showed me something, a vision, not literal, but symbolic, a picture of someone standing in a dim room. Light was behind them, but shadows were all around their feet. And the shadows weren't scary, they were deceptive, quiet, subtle. The kind of shadows you don't notice until you take a step back. And God said, my child is surrounded by things they have tolerated for too long. You've been carrying people who never carried you. You've been loyal to those who were only entertained by your loyalty. You've been generous to people who secretly resented your strength. You've been loving toward someone who only loved your light, not your soul. You've tolerated spiritual clutter because you thought peace meant keeping everyone comfortable, but your spirit knows the truth. Something around you is spiritually draining, and heaven is exposing it. My beloved, do you feel this right now? Does something in your spirit feel like God is confirming something you've been questioning? If your heart just whispered, keep listening. Star, the unspoken battle you've been fighting there is a spiritual battle that nobody sees, nobody guesses, nobody understands because you don't show it. You smile, you push through, you pray, you hold your peace, you stay kind even when it costs you. But inside, you've been fighting something that you can't quite name, a heaviness, a draining presence, a silent opposition. A spiritual disturbance around a certain connection, situation, or person. It's not something loud, it's not dramatic, it's not obvious, it's subtle, quiet, hidden, the kind of attack that disguises itself as affection, as opportunity, as friendship, as connection, sometimes even as love. But your spirit knows, your spirit always knows, and God is saying, you are not crazy, you are not overthinking, you are discerning. Star, the divine revealing, stay with me, because this is where the message deepens, this is where heaven shifts the veil. Shifts the veil. There is something God is about to reveal to you, not to scare you, not to break you, but to free you. Something or someone has been sitting in your atmosphere with intentions that do not align with your calling, and God is preparing you for clarity. This is why you've been restless. This is why your spirit has been responding before your mind understood. This is why certain people suddenly feel estranged, even if nothing dramatic has happened. It's because your spiritual DNA is changing. Your discernment is sharpening. Your spirit is stepping into a new level of awareness. And whenever God elevates a chosen one, he exposes anything that cannot go with you. Before I continue, I want to ask you something, child of God. Do you feel like God is separating you from certain people or energies, even without explanation? If your soul whispered a yes, that is confirmation. Not coincidence, confirmation. Star, stay with me. The revelation deepens because what I'm about to share next, what I'm about to reveal in part 2, it will explain why this spiritual shift began. It will explain who has been affecting your spirit. It will explain what God is about to do on your behalf. And I promise you, if you have ever felt unseen, unheard, or spiritually misread, part 2 will feel like heaven speaking directly to your spirit. Before you move to the next part, breathe for a moment. Feel the weight of this word, and if something in part 1 touched your soul, if you feel this message is speaking into your situation, comment below. I receive this clarity. Stay with me now, because what we are stepping into in this part is not just information, it is illumination. Part 1 awakens something in your spirit. Part 2 will identify it, because the truth is, you haven't just been experiencing random emotions. You haven't been too sensitive. You haven't been imagining or exaggerating. You have been spiritually alerted. There's a difference. And chosen ones, truly chosen ones, are alerted before they are informed. Your spirit picks up a shift long before your mind can explain it. Star, the real reason. Your spirit feels uneasy. You've been feeling something behind the scenes. Haven't you? Haven't you? Something you cannot fully place into words. A heaviness that doesn't match your environment. A tension that doesn't match the conversations. A spiritual discomfort that doesn't match the situation on the surface. This is because God has been exposing people to you in the spirit first. Before your physical eyes ever notice anything, your spiritual eyes pick up the truth. Let me tell you something deep. Spiritual sight always awakens before physical sight. That is why some people around you suddenly feel different, unfamiliar, energetically heavy, distracting, draining, off, even if nothing dramatic has changed in their outward behavior. It's because their spirit shifted and yours recognized it. Tell me honestly, have you recently sensed a strange distance growing between you and certain people, even without conflict? Does it feel like God is gently removing your peace from certain connections? That is divine separation beginning. Not rejection, not judgment, protection. Star, but then heaven spoke. As I prayed into this message, I asked God, Lord, what is the real reason your chosen ones feel this shift around certain people? And the answer came not in words, but in understanding. I saw a picture in the spirit, not literal, but symbolic. A chosen one walking through a hallway with lights flickering overhead. Each person along the hallway looked normal at first glance, but the moment the chosen one stepped closer, their shadows stretched unnaturally long behind them, longer than their bodies, longer than their presence should allow. And God whispered, their shadows reveal what their tongues hide, meaning some people around you appear harmless, even friendly, but their intentions, their jealousy, their resentment, their spiritual darkness, those shadows have been touching your atmosphere without your permission. This is why you've been feeling drained after certain conversations. This is why you feel low after helping some people. This is why you experience spiritual fatigue after being around certain energies. It's not them, it's the shadow behind them. It's the shadow behind. Star, the 3 types of spiritual shadows you must be aware of before we go deeper. God instructed me to reveal this. There are 3 spiritual shadows that attach to certain people, and these shadows drain chosen ones more than anyone else. 1. The shadow of dependency. These are people who love your strength but resent your boundaries. They take from your light but never pour back into you. They act powerless, so you feel obligated to carry them. And listen, you're not tired of helping. You're tired of being their only source. 2. The shadow of jealousy. These people clap for you publicly but compare themselves to you privately. They smile, but their spirit flinches at your growth. They want what you have, but they don't want your journey. Chosen ones always feel jealousy before they see it. 3. The shadow of hidden intention. These are the most dangerous. Their face is friendly, their tone is warm, but their spirit is unsettled by your calling. They never attack directly. They place doubt in small doses. They weaken your confidence subtly. They discourage you softly. These shadows hate your anointing. Star, are you feeling this confirmation yet? Let me ask you a question, and listen with your spirit. Do you feel God revealing someone's true intentions to you, slowly, quietly, but unmistakably? If you feel that, that is not fear. That is not anxiety. That is not paranoia. That is discernment sharpening. Heaven is saying, I'm showing you now so they cannot follow you later. Your next chapter has no room for spiritual parasites. Your next season has no space for hidden envy. Your next elevation cannot include people who fear your potential more than they support. Star, the invisible war around your calling, child of God. The reason you feel spiritually drained is because your life has been a battleground, not because of attack, but because of assignment. The enemy fights chosen ones not because of who they are right now, but because of who they will become. You are stepping into a season of clarity, obedience, favor, increased divine responsibility, spiritual authority, and spiritual authority attracts spiritual opposition. Not everyone is qualified to stand next to you while you rise. Some people are connected to your past wounds, not your future calling. Past wounds, not your future calling. Some people are tied to your old self, not your awakened self. Some people can only walk with you at your lowest, not your elevated level. God is exposing these connections now because He is preparing you for elevation without corruption, growth without sabotage, peace without draining attachments. Star, the moment God separates light from shadows, let me share something powerful with you. In the book of Genesis, before God created anything magnificent, He first separated light from darkness. He didn't destroy the darkness. He didn't argue with it. He didn't negotiate with it. He simply separated it. This is what's happening in your life right now. You're not losing people. You're not being abandoned. You're not being rejected. God is simply saying, this can't go with you. The separation hurts because your heart is pure, but the separation is necessary because your calling is pure. Star, a mini-story. You must hear. Let me tell you a short story God placed on my heart. There was a man who carried a lantern through a dark forest. Every time he met someone, the stranger would walk beside him, benefiting from his light. Some were grateful, some were quiet, some were jealous, some were deceptive. But as the man continued walking, he noticed something strange. The lantern became dimmer whenever he walked with certain individuals. Not because they touched it, not because they blew on it, but because their shadows wrapped around it. Eventually, the man realized, some people do not need to harm your light. Their presence alone suffocates it. The man then prayed, God, give me the wisdom to see who strengthens my flame and who dims it. And God answered, watch the light. It reacts before you do. My beloved, your light has been reacting. Your spirit has been sensing. Your atmosphere has been shifting. Pay attention. Pay attention. Star, before we move to part 3, I want you to pause. Put your hand gently on your chest. Take a deep breath. Now ask your spirit, God, who are you separating me from? Show me what my eyes couldn't see before. If you feel even the slightest tug inside you, the next part of this message will speak directly into that revelation. Part 3 will reveal fire, why chosen ones attract the wrong people. Fire, why God blocks certain connections you try to maintain. Fire, the deeper spiritual reason God won't let some people stay in your life. Fire, and the emotional transformation that follows divine separation. If this part is speaking to your soul, if you feel God highlighting someone or something as you read this, comment below. God is revealing it to me, my beloved chosen one. As we step into this third part of your divine journey, I want you to take a deep breath and truly prepare your spirit. Because this is where things get deeper, sharper, and more revealing. This is where you begin to understand why certain people disappear, why some relationships suddenly collapse, and why your soul feels pulled away from certain environments, even when your mind doesn't fully understand it yet. Remember this truth. Elevation requires separation, and separation requires revelation. And in this third part, God is revealing the people he removes, not to hurt you, but to protect you. So let's continue. 6. People whose presence weakens your spiritual discernment. Chosen ones are spiritually sensitive. Your intuition is sharp. You can sense things most people overlook, but there are certain people whose presence acts like a fog, a heavy cloud that dims your inner clarity. Have you ever noticed how spending time with certain individuals makes you feel spiritually drained, confused, or disconnected from God? That is not random. It is a sign. When God removes someone from your life because your spirit feels off around them, it's not rejection, it's protection. Some people carry energy that clashes with your calling. Some carry motives that conflict with your purpose. Some carry spiritual heaviness that interferes with your discernment. And God will not allow anything or anyone to pull you out of alignment with what He is preparing you for. When someone's presence makes your spiritual clarity drop, God cuts the connection, not to punish you, but to reset your spiritual vision. 7. People who only respect the old version of you. Chosen ones undergo massive transformation. You evolve. You shed skins. You rise. You shed skins. You rise. But there will always be people who refuse to accept or acknowledge your growth. These people cling to an outdated version of you, a version God has already healed, elevated, and moved beyond. They still speak to you like you're the old you. They still treat you like you haven't grown. They still try to drag you back into habits, behaviors, or mindsets that no longer fit your spirit. And hear me clearly, when God elevates you, not everyone will celebrate you. Some will cling to your past because they benefited from it. But the moment they see you becoming stronger, wiser, and more aligned, they feel threatened, so they try to keep you small. This is why God removes people who can't see your growth. Because the new level He's taking you to requires people who recognize your worth, not people who disrespect it. 8. People who use emotional manipulation to control you chosen ones often have big hearts. You give, you help, you understand, you forgive. And manipulators know this. They guilt trip you. They twist words. They play the victim. They make you feel responsible for their emotions. They drain your energy with their constant crises. But here's the truth. God won't let you stay trapped in emotional prisons. Manipulation is a spiritual chain, and God breaks chains. When you start noticing patterns of emotional control, God is opening your eyes. When someone becomes dependent on your energy instead of God, he removes them. Why? Because emotional manipulation is one of the fastest ways the enemy uses to distract a chosen one from their mission. And listen, God will never allow someone to emotionally drain you to the point where you can no longer hear his voice. So if someone suddenly exits your life after a season of guilt, drama, or manipulation, it was divine intervention, a spiritual rescue, a necessary removal. 9. People who carry hidden envy toward you. Now listen closely, because this one is powerful. Many chosen ones mistake envy for friendship. Some people around you don't dislike you. They dislike how God favors you. They dislike your light. They dislike your growth. They dislike your authority. They may smile at you, but deep down, your spirit irritates the darkness in them. God sees the jealousy you cannot see. He hears the conversations you were never meant to hear. He witnesses the secret comparisons, the silent competitions, the unspoken resentment. And when envy becomes dangerous, God steps in. He removes them quietly, smoothly, almost invisibly. Because jealousy is not just an emotion, it's a spiritual threat. Envious people can sabotage, manipulate, betray, and poison your destiny. God cannot allow that. So when someone with hidden envy starts to fade away, stop questioning it, stop chasing, stop trying to understand. It was divine surgery. God cut out what was infecting your peace. 10. People who speak against your purpose. Every chosen one has a purpose, a calling, a mission that activates their soul. But when people around you begin discouraging your dreams, criticizing your progress, belittling your goals, speaking negatively about your future, it is not coincidence. It is spiritual warfare. Words carry energy. Words can build or destroy, and people who constantly speak against your purpose are trying to sabotage the seeds God planted inside you. So God removes them. He silences their voices. He blocks their influence. He disconnects their access. Because your purpose is too sacred to be surrounded by doubters, belittlers, and dream crushers, God replaces these people with those who speak life, not death, over your destiny. 11. People who refuse to heal, grow, or evolve. This one is hard, because it often involves people we care deeply about. But some people simply refuse to grow. They choose cycles over change. They choose comfort over transformation. They choose stagnation over evolution. And if you stay connected to people who refuse to grow, they will eventually pull you backward. Not out of malice, but because equilibrium demands it. Two people moving in opposite directions cannot stay connected forever. So God creates distance, not because you're better than them, but because you're moving differently than them. Your elevation requires movement. Their comfort requires stillness. You cannot stay tethered to someone who refuses to evolve when God is calling you into expansion. So God separates you to protect the growth He is developing within you. 12. People whose season in your life has simply expired. This is the one most people struggle to accept. Not every separation is betrayal. Not every ending is punishment. Not every exit is attack. Some connections are seasonal. Some lessons have a time limit. Numbered. Some relationships serve a temporary purpose. People come into your life for 3 reasons: a lesson, a blessing, a transformation. But when the lesson is complete, when the blessing is delivered, when the chapter is finished, God closes the book. Trying to hold on to expired people creates spiritual suffocation. Your spirit feels stuck. Your growth slows. Your intuition gets quieter. So God removes them to make room for the next chapter. Some people were never meant to stay. They were meant to prepare you. And once their role is complete, God takes them out of your story so you can step into the next phase of your calling. My beloved chosen one, every removal in your life was intentional. Every separation was strategic. Every loss carried purpose, a purpose. God is not taking people away from you. He is taking you towards something greater. You are entering a season where alignment is everything, and God will continue removing the wrong people to make room for the right destiny. Trust the shifting. Trust the timing. Trust the divine hand guiding your steps. You are not losing people. You are losing distractions. Your spiritual clarity is returning. Your power is returning. Your purpose is unfolding. You are stepping into a higher dimension of yourself. Stay alert, stay aligned, and stay connected to the one who never leaves. Chosen one, before we continue, I want you to pause for a moment. Place your hand over your heart. Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhythm. Feel the divine energy flowing through you. Because what you're about to hear in this part is not just information, it's revelation. This part will unlock understanding about the invisible changes happening around you, the sudden shifts, the distance, the silence, the strange behaviors, and the people God is exposing one by one. So open your spirit, because the truth is arriving. 13. God is exposing people who pretended to support you. Some of the people who clapped for you never believed in you. Some who smiled in your face spoke against you behind closed doors. Some who called you a friend were secretly competing with you. But here is the miracle. God is revealing hearts, and when God exposes a person's true intentions, you cannot unsee it. You start noticing their energy doesn't match their words, their support feels forced, their compliments feel hollow, their presence feels heavy, their eyes don't celebrate your growth, and suddenly you feel spiritually disconnected from them. This is God lifting the veil. He's showing you who was never meant to walk with you into your next season. Pretend support cannot survive in the presence of real purpose. That is why these people are being removed. Not because you are changing, but because God is showing you who they truly are. 14. God removes people who block your peace. Chosen ones cannot function in chaos. Your power is activated in peace, in clarity, in alignment. But some people carry storms with them. Every time they show up, chaos follows. Drama, gossip, conflict, stress, confusion. They drain your energy, disturb your spirit, and disrupt your mental stability. And hear this clearly, peace is not a luxury for a chosen one. It is a necessity. When someone becomes a threat to your peace, God steps in. He creates circumstances that force separation. He interrupts the connection. He closes the door, because you cannot walk in divine alignment while surrounded by constant disorder. Peace is your spiritual oxygen, and God will not allow anyone to suffocate you. 15. God removes people who delay your destiny. Some people are not bad. They are simply not aligned with your assignment. They move slow. You move fast. They procrastinate. You execute. They stay comfortable. You evolve. You're trying to rise, and they're trying to stay the same. And while you love them, you cannot drag someone into a destiny they are not willing to walk into. So God separates you from people who slow your progress, not out of cruelty, but out of divine acceleration. When God wants to elevate you quickly, He removes anything or anyone that is slowing you down. You may feel confused in the moment, but later you realize those people were never part of your future, only your journey. There is a difference. 16. God removes people who can spiritually read you, but cannot spiritually respect you. Chosen ones shine without trying. Your presence is felt. Your energy is strong. Your intuition is sharp. People notice this, even before you do. Some admire it. Some fear it. Some respect it. And some envy it. Some envy it. But the most dangerous group is the one that sees your spiritual power, but does not respect your spiritual calling. These people treat you casually, yet expect uncommon access to your energy. They recognize your wisdom, yet speak to you dismissively. They sense your divine protection, yet test your boundaries. God removes these people because your calling requires people who honor you, not people who use you. Not everyone deserves spiritual access to you. And God will shut the door on anyone who tries to benefit from your gifts without respecting your value. 17. God removes people who carry hidden darkness or unclean intentions. Chosen one. You may not always see it, but your spirit feels it. When someone around you carries hidden darkness, jealousy, resentment, deceit, manipulation, spiritual pollution, your energy reacts. You feel uneasy, you feel drained, you feel mentally foggy, you feel unsafe without knowing why. That is your spirit detecting what your eyes cannot see. When God senses you are too close to spiritual danger, He removes people quickly. Sometimes through misunderstanding, sudden distance, emotional detachment, unexpected disconnection, a shift you can't fully explain. These aren't coincidences. These are spiritual evacuations. When someone's soul does not match your divine elevation, God breaks the connection before harm can reach you. Protection often comes disguised as separation. 18. God removes people whose assignment in your life has been completed. Some people enter your life to teach you, challenge you, transform you, strengthen you, awaken you, prepare you. But once their spiritual assignment is complete, God removes them. Not because they're bad, but because their part of your story is finished. Think about it. In every story, every movie, every journey, characters enter, play their role, and exit. Some exits feel sudden, some feel painful, some feel confusing, but they are necessary. You cannot hold on to people who have served their purpose. If you try to force them to stay, you delay your next chapter. When God removes someone whose season has ended, He is clearing space for the new. Remember this, your destiny is too important for expired connections. 19. God removes people who quietly sabotage your spirit. Some people don't attack you openly. They do it subtly. A comment here, a doubt there, a criticism disguised as a joking, a discouragement hidden as advice, a negative tone every time you share good news. These micro-attacks are spiritual sabotage. They weaken your confidence, dim your excitement, kill your momentum, and slowly erode your self-belief. But chosen ones are meant to walk boldly. So God removes anyone who tries to shrink your spirit with subtle negativity. Subtle negativity. Sometimes the most dangerous enemies are the quiet ones. The ones who pretend to care but secretly hope you fail. God sees what they think you don't, and He removes them to protect your purpose. 20. God is transitioning you into a higher dimension of yourself. This final point is the most important. You are not just losing people, you are being transformed. You are being prepared for higher spiritual authority, greater clarity, higher levels of discernment, stronger intuition, a purified circle, a deeper connection with God, a more powerful calling, a wider impact. And to step into this new dimension, God must elevate your atmosphere. Some people cannot go where you are going. Some energies cannot exist at the frequency you are rising into. Some relationships cannot survive your transformation, and so God removes them, because what is coming for you is too big, too divine, too purposeful to be surrounded by the wrong people. You are not being abandoned. You are being aligned. You are not losing your circle. God is hand-selecting a new one. You are not being isolated. You are being upgraded. Your destiny is unfolding. Your spirit is awakening. Your path is clearing. Your path is clearing. You are stepping into the most powerful version of yourself. My beloved chosen one, if God is removing people from your life, it is because your next chapter requires purity, clarity, and spiritual elevation. Trust the disconnections. Trust the silence. Trust the distance. Trust the sudden shifts. These are not signs of loss. They are signs of divine preparation. You are being set apart because God is setting you above. Your purpose is calling. Your spirit is rising. Your future is forming. Stay aligned. Stay aware. Stay surrendered to the divine plan unfolding for you. Chosen one. If you are listening to this right now, I want you to understand something sacred. You are standing at the gateway of a spiritual turning point. Not everyone reaches this moment. Not everyone hears this kind of message. Not everyone feels heaven tugging at their soul like you do, their soul like you do. This final part is not information. It is an activation. It is God preparing you for what's coming. So go deep with me. Let this part sink into your spirit like oil poured over a king or queen being anointed. 21. Before God elevates you, he separates you. There is a moment in every chosen one's journey where God begins removing, clearing, pruning, disconnecting. Not because you're being punished, but because you're being positioned. Think about every biblical transformation. Joseph was separated from his brothers. David was separated from his family. Moses was separated from Egypt. Jesus was separated from the crowds. Paul was separated into the wilderness. Every destiny-shifting move of God began with divine disconnection. Ochure, now it is your turn. You are being separated because you are about to be elevated. Your isolation is not rejection, it is selection. Let that sink into your bones. 22. The silence around you is not empty. It's holy. Some of you feel like your life has grown quieter, fewer calls, less noise. People not reaching out, the world becoming distant. It may feel lonely, but spiritually it is sacred, because when God quiets your environment, he is preparing to speak to your soul. When everything around you goes silent, heaven gets louder. Heaven gets louder. This silence is not the absence of people. It is the presence of God. Have you sensed it? Have you felt that quiet urging in your spirit that something is shifting? Something is forming, something is coming. If you feel that tug, it's because God is drawing you closer for revelation. Chosen ones do not receive instruction in chaos. They receive it in silence. 23. You are being pulled away from the wrong energies. One of the greatest signs of awakening is when your soul begins rejecting what it used to tolerate. Things that once entertained you now feel draining. Places you used to fit now feel uncomfortable. People you once understood now feel spiritually unfamiliar. This is not random. This is alignment. Your spirit is outgrowing your old environments, and when the soul grows, your life must adjust. Some of you wonder, why does being around certain people suddenly feel heavy? Or why do certain conversations drain me now? Or why can't I force myself to vibe with the same crowd? Because your spirit recognizes what your mind is still processing. You cannot rise while connected to energies that keep you low. And so, without asking your permission, your soul is pulling away from what no longer aligns with your destiny. Listen to that pull. It is divine guidance. 24. God is recalibrating your inner world before your outer breakthrough. Before God changes your environment, he changes you. Before he enlarges your territory, he strengthens your spirit. Before he blesses your future, he purifies your heart. That's why you're feeling the internal battle. Your emotions are shifting your desires. Changing your old patterns are breaking your intuition, is sharpening your discernment, is intensifying this. Inner recalibration is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. A new level requires a new version of you. This is spiritual upgrading, heaven's restructuring, divine construction of your next identity. Ask yourself, can you feel God stretching you into something greater? Or do you sense the old you dissolving as the new you emerges? Are you noticing changes happening inside you that even you can't explain? This is the mark of alignment. This is the signature of awakening. 25. The attacks increased because your calling increased. Let me tell you a secret that few understand. When your purpose rises, people's reactions reveal themselves. When your light grows, shadows become louder. When your spirit strengthens, hidden enemies become visible. Some of the recent battles you faced weren't random hardships. They were indicators of your next level. Attacks increase when heaven is preparing elevation. Resistance appears when you are close to breakthrough. Spiritual pressure intensifies before divine release. And the enemy tries hardest when he knows you are stepping into purpose. That heaviness you felt, that wasn't weakness. It was spiritual labor. You were giving birth to a new dimension of yourself. You're not breaking down. You're breaking open. 26. The reason you lost people is because God is bringing you better. Some losses hit deeply. Some goodbyes felt like betrayal. Some separations were unexpected. But hear this clearly. Every person who left made room for someone better aligned with your purpose. Every closed door opened the path to the right one. Every rejection redirected you to divine protection. And every relationship that ended was heaven's way of removing what was blocking your blessing. God is not taking from you. He is replacing for you. You are not being emptied. You are being prepared to be filled. Better friendships, better connections, better partnerships, better support, better love, better alignment. What is coming will make you grateful for everything that left. 27. You are entering your season of spiritual confirmation, chosen one. You've questioned enough. You've wondered enough. You've doubted enough. Now you're stepping into confirmation. You will begin seeing signs, synchronicities, divine messages, spiritual alignment, prophetic clarity. God is about to confirm things that have been unclear for years. You will hear him more easily. You will feel guided more clearly. You will sense divine timing more naturally. And truly, have you felt it lately? Dreams becoming more vivid, intuition becoming sharper, certain numbers appearing repeatedly, a strange sense of knowing before things happen. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Heaven is signaling that you are aligned. 28. The blessing you've been waiting for is closer than you think. After separation comes elevation. After pruning comes blooming. After warfare comes reward. After silence comes revelation. You are closer to your breakthrough than you've ever been, and that's why God needed to clear your path. Your blessing is big, heavy, significant destiny, altering, life-shifting, and not everyone can witness what God is about to do in your life. Not everyone is meant to celebrate your victory. Not everyone is allowed to access your next level. Your blessing requires a purified environment, a protected spirit, a strengthened heart, a focused mind, and that is exactly what God is preparing right now. 29. You are being reborn into your true self. This final truth is the most profound. You are not becoming someone new. You are becoming someone true. This is your rebirth, your unveiling, your awakening. The world tried to bury you under expectations. People tried to dim your light. Life tried to harden your heart. But everything you went through has led you back to yourself, the real you, the chosen you, the anointed you, the spiritually powerful you. You are stepping into your divine identity with clarity, strength, and purpose. You are not who you used to be. You are who God always intended you to be. A final prophetic prayer, beloved chosen one. May every door that was closed against you be replaced with divine openings. May every person who left make room for those God has sent. May every lost birth greater purpose. May every tear water your spiritual growth. May every delay turn into alignment. May every attack turn into testimony. And may your path be covered in heavenly light. You are chosen. You are protected. You are rising. You are stepping into your divine season. If this message touched your spirit, comment and receive it below and stay with me on this journey. Our elevation begins now.